what the actual heck is going on with Haason Reddick and the Jets.
I've got breaking news. The Jets are a very dysfunctional organization. Oh wow, what tipped it off? Was it the hiring of Nathaniel Hackett?
I've really enjoyed making love to your ears.
Was it the leak to The Athletic? Was it the fact that they haven't made the playoffs since 2010? Or was it D, none of the above? Well, actually, I mean all of the above. But especially this newest development in the Meadowlands, edge rusher Haason Reddick has demanded a trade out of New York just 4 months after being traded to the Jets, right? He has played in 4 fewer snaps as a Jet than Aaron Rodgers, and he wants out. Will he leave? Well, after officially requesting a trade, the Jets put out a statement suggesting it will be a cold day in hell before they grant his trade request. No wonder Aaron Rodgers wanted to be vice president. Politics seemed less dysfunctional than his new home. God save the Jets, and God help me break down just how dumb they really are. That's good. Sports! Today's episode is sponsored by manscaped.com/goodsports. Now, sometimes I think Manscaped is spying on me because 6 months ago, I would not have known what a scalp buffer is. But Manscaped just dropped the perfect upgrade to your hair washing routine with their scalp buffer. Now, if you watch GPS or my live streams regularly, you know I've been a little paranoid about some thinning hair I got up here. I bought a different scalp buffer months ago to rub my head when I wash to remove dead skin and to help stimulate the follicles of my hair by trying to increase blood flow to my scalp. I was researching this stuff while simultaneously making appointments in desperation with my dermatologist. Now, the bristles on the buffer enhance shampoo penetration for more foam and less product use. That's nice. I've been using Manscaped shampoo already for years, and I wish I would have been aware of a scalp buffer decades ago because I also had dandruff, which is because we have dry ass air here in Colorado, and the scalp buffer helps get rid of the dry ass skin that comes with that. I use it in my beard too. Plus, it just feels good. So, use my link, manscaped.com/goodsports to get 20% off, plus free international shipping, and get the best scalp buffer I've ever used. And I haven't been using them very long, but this one's the best. All right, let's go back to April when the Jets traded for pass rusher Haason Reddick, and that was initially seen as a great move to bolster an already fierce pass rush.
What's up, Jets fan? Haason Reddick here. Just wanted to say what's up, that I'm happy to be here, and I look forward to getting out there in front of you guys and balling.
Reddick, a 2-time Pro Bowl edge rusher known for his sack artistry, was brought in to replace Bryce Huff, who the Jets did not want to extend. The Eagles, who didn't want to extend Reddick, traded him to the Jets and ironically signed Bryce Huff to a 3-year, $51 million deal. The move seemed like it made sense for both teams. The Jets acquired a proven vet to anchor their defensive line, while Reddick, who wanted a better, longer deal, got a fresh start in his native New Jersey. A win-win! However, that all changed when it actually came time to negotiate that deal. Reddick, who is set to earn $14.25 million in the final year of his contract, is seeking a new long-term deal that better reflects his value after several seasons of consistent high-level performance. And he is consistent. He's the only player with 4 consecutive seasons of double-digit sacks, along with Myles Garrett. The Jets, however, have refused to renegotiate the terms of his deal. This led to Reddick holding out from all team activities, including voluntary workouts, mandatory minicamp, and training camp. Basically, he did a press conference, moved to New Jersey, and has yet to see the field in any capacity whatsoever until he gets paid. Just yesterday, Reddick formally requested a trade.
Haason Reddick
has requested a trade from the team.
The trade request was promptly denied by the Jets and their general manager, Joe Douglas, who issued a statement affirming the team's position. Douglas made it clear that Reddick was expected to report to the team and would be fined daily under the collective bargaining agreement for his continued absence. The Jets, who invested a conditional third-round pick in the 2026 draft to secure Reddick, are unwilling to budge on their stance, leading to what's become a pretty much unprecedented standoff between a team and a player who just got there. Zero honeymoon period. They got married, and then the Jets got a headache and have refused to consummate. But wait, it gets better. I loved this report by Connor Hughes, who said, "The Jets will not cater to a player who has never played a down for them before." No, of course. They would never do something like that. They would never hire an offensive coordinator specifically for a certain QB or acquire somebody like Randall Cobb to meet his wishes. That just wouldn't... It would never... It would never...
The true disinformation comes from actually those publications now.
Oh, fuck, I'm sorry, but they would never do that. What's next? Are you gonna tell me Tyreek Hill is the new spokesman for Magnum condoms? What I really don't understand is why you would send trade capital to another team to acquire a player when you didn't already have the fucking framework for a contract lined up. It's like a lower stakes version of the Broncos trading for Russell Wilson and not giving him the long-term deal he was seeking. That was one of the factors for him leaving Seattle, which in hindsight would have actually been much, much better than what actually happened. The Jets did have permission to speak to Reddick and his agent prior to the trade, and presumably they weren't just chatting about the weather or politics.
Can't wait to get you here. You're coming to a great situation.
Like FDR, they were talking about a new deal. And yes, that is back-to-back episodes with FDR references. My second favorite president, by the way. Ultimately, the Jets decided they would not pay Reddick until they saw him perform, either in training camp or during the regular season, which is flat out weird given his production from the last few seasons, which suggests he's anywhere from the 5th to 10th best pass rusher in the league. And if you think that a fall off is on the horizon due to his age and you want to be careful, maybe just don't trade for him and keep the gem you had and young Bryce Huff, you fucking idiots. Despite all this, you could make the case that the Jets still have all the leverage in this situation, for now at least. New York's defense doesn't necessarily hinge on Reddick. He'd be a nice piece that could put them over the edge, from the edge, like Anthony Hopkins in the edge.
How are you planning to kill me?
But we're still talking about a defense that finished 12th in scoring despite close to zero help from their offense and finished with 48 sacks, which is pretty good for a team that wasn't playing with the lead very often. Or ever, if my memory serves right. Of course, that was with Bryce Huff, who contributed 10 sacks and is now in Reddick's former spot with the Eagles. Knowing Huff took a 3-year deal with Philly at $51 million with the max value of $20 million per year, I'd say the Jets should have just paid him. Huff's cap hits are 4.3, 7.5, and 11.7 million with a bunch of voided years after that. He's 26. Reddick, 29, gonna be 30 this year. He's cheaper, except this year as Reddick's cap hit is only at $750,000 for the Jets. But with Bryce, you do have upside, a little bit of mystery. Now the Jets expect a jump from Jermaine Johnson in year 3, who already took a big leap from year 1 to year 2 in New York. Maybe they just should have paid Bryce Huff rather than deal with Reddick, who wants anywhere from $25 million to $28 million. But that just seems too easy. Oh yeah, and they also had to give up John Franklin Myers for close to nothing because of financial constraints, presumably to make money to pay Haason Reddick.
John Franklin Myers, one of the most well-respected players on this team, he is gone. New York has sent him to the Denver Broncos in exchange for a 2026 6th-round pick.
And now that I think about it, I'm not sure the Jets have the leverage that they think they do here. And maybe Reddick understands that too. New York didn't add to their pass rush in the draft. They were too busy trying to keep Aaron Rodgers upright and stocked with weapons like Malachi Corley and Braylon Allen, who looked terrific in the preseason opener, by the way. But they didn't touch the front seven in late April. And I'm starting to think they only wanted Reddick on a one-year deal because he's cheap this year and never had any intentions of actually giving him the contract he was seeking.
Shady practices, unethical practices.
As the clock keeps ticking and we inch towards the regular season, the Jets have made it clear that they will not trade Reddick and will enforce the penalties outlined in his contract. Now, Reddick has already forfeited a $250,000 workout bonus due to his absence from team activities and was fined $100,000 for missing mandatory minicamp. His continued absence from training camp, now extending to 21 days, has resulted in additional fines totaling $1.05 million, with each day costing him $50,000. Fuck, I wish I had the money to turn down $50,000 a day, even if that meant calling myself a New York Jet. Additionally, because he missed the first 5 days of training camp, he faces an extra $300,000 fine. So the money he could be making by being at practice keeps adding up. Furthermore, if he sits out the whole season, a bold move at the age of 30, his contract tolls and the Jets retain his rights heading into 2025. So he's right where he was. The Jets opened the season on Monday Night Football against the San Francisco 49ers. We basically saw this happen last year with Chris Jones. Chris Jones and the Chiefs couldn't agree to an extension. The Chiefs lost the season opener to the Lions without him, and Jones got a new one-year contract 3 days later. All right, so what if Reddick gets his way and the Jets do become open to actually trading him rather than fining him and letting him collect dust? I don't see how that helps the team in 2024, but it seems better than getting nothing, right? Even if those assets aren't realized until 2025. Where could Reddick realistically end up in a trade? Well, the Atlanta Falcons seem like they're primed to win the NFC South. However, one glaring hole remains: an elite pass rusher. The Falcons haven't had a dominant presence on the edge in years, and adding Reddick could instantly elevate their defense and turn them into a contender. We thought they would find that guy in the draft, but of course they ended up spending their top pick on a quarterback who's likely not going to see the field for a couple years. You might have heard about that story. Reddick would make a lot of sense for a defense whose top two sack producers, Calais Campbell and me and Bud Dupree, are now on other teams. Atlanta would need to get creative as they are dead last in cap space for 2024. What about the Chicago Bears, who are also entering a win now window in the NFC? Chicago made a splash last season by trading for Montez Sweat, a move that immediately improved their edge. Pairing Reddick with Sweat would create one of the better pass rushing duos in the league. The Dick Sweat combo would truly be a tough thing to stop. The Bears have the cap space to make this move, and I think given their Keenan Allen addition and the strong debut of Caleb Williams would suggest they've got a chance to compete right away, and they got the cash to do it. For the Arizona Cardinals, a reunion with Haason Reddick could be just what the doctor ordered. Under head coach Jonathan Gannon, who knows Reddick from their time together in Philadelphia, the Cardinals could address their dire need for defensive talent. Arizona is currently in a rebuilding phase, but adding a player of Reddick's caliber would instantly upgrade their D-line. I don't know if at this point in his career he's going to be that patient with a potential losing season. The Miami Dolphins are no strangers to making bold moves in pursuit of boosting their ceiling, with key players like Jalen Phillips, who is just cleared to return to practice this week, and Bradley Chubb coming off season-ending injuries from 2023. The Dolphins' defense is in need of reinforcement. They also lost Andrew Van Ginkel. But most importantly, if nothing else, it would keep Reddick out of, oh God, no, Kansas City. No. The Chiefs are obviously on the verge of something historic, and I don't think they'd hesitate to push all their chips to the middle of the table if they think it's going to help them three-peat adding Haason Reddick to an already strong defensive front would be a luxury move, but the Chiefs are the ultimate luxury team at this point. Let's be honest, while the Chiefs might struggle to meet Reddick's contract demands, the thought of him joining forces with Chris Jones might convince him to take a one-year deal for a little less than he would have elsewhere. This move feels like it's just going to happen. And rest assured, if it does, I will never forgive the Jets for mismanaging this entire situation. I won't forgive you, you fucks. My dark horse team, the Commanders, they got rid of both Chase Young and the aforementioned Montez Sweat last year. They have a great defensive interior led by Daron Payne, but a need for a legit edge rusher. They also have the cap space this year and next year to pay Reddick, and Dan Quinn is a coach defensive players love. At the end of the day, this is just another feather in the Jets' dunce cap. And look, if they somehow get a contract done soon, then I will take back 10% of the negative shit I said about the Jets in this video. 10% only.
But Jeffrey Epstein had the goods on everybody.
There's a reason this team hasn't made the playoffs since Barack Obama was in the middle of his first term as president. It starts at the top. GM Joe Douglas is officially the most overrated front office man in the league, and while they couldn't have predicted the calamitous Aaron Rodgers injury last year, it never feels like they have any sort of contingency plan or unified theory of how to win despite acquiring some good pieces over the last few years. You can forgive the Jets for missing on a QB like Zach Wilson. You can forgive the injury last year, but it's hard to forgive this kind of fly by the seat of your pants roster planning that could potentially waste your window, your small window with Aaron Rodgers. You simply don't trade for players who want a new contract that you don't intend on paying or matching. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. We've got a wild season of football coming up, and you don't want to miss a minute of it. And this channel's free, damn it. You don't need a subscription. You do need to subscribe, just it's free.